So we have a GitHub repository in the cloud. Now every team member should clone this repository. That means they should take a copy of this repository and put it on their machine. Locally, they will work with that repository. When they're ready to share their changes, they will push their commits to this central repository, okay? So to clone this repository, we go to the code tab. Here we can see the full URL of this repository. Let's copy this. We go to the terminal and type git clone and paste the URL. When we execute this command, Git is going to create a directory by the same name as our repository. If you don't like this name, you can always change it. So here we can say Mars project. Take a look. So Git cloned our entire repository. So all the commits in the central repository also exist here on my machine. Currently, we have only a single commit. Now, let's go to this directory, Mars project, and run git log. So currently we have a single commit. Now look at these pointers. We have head pointing to master, and we have these two pointers in red, origin/master and origin/head. What are these? Well, when we clone a repository, Git names the source repository, in this case, the one that we have on GitHub, Git names that origin. So origin is a reference to that repository. Origin/master tells us where is the master branch in that repository. Because now we have multiple repositories, the history in each repository can evolve independently. So origin/master tells us where is the master branch in our origin repository. Now, technically, this is called a remote tracking branch. It's a branch, but it's not the kind of branch you're familiar with. So we cannot check it out. We cannot commit to it. So if you type git switch origin/master, we get an error. If we type git branch, we can see we only have a single branch, the master branch. So origin/master is a remote tracking branch. Similarly, origin/head tells us where is the head pointer in our origin repository. Now here we have a useful command you should be familiar with, git remote. This shows the list of remote repositories. A remote repository is a repository that is not on our machine. More accurately, it's not in the current directory. So currently we have only a single remote repository. That is our origin repository. If we type git remote -v for verbose, we can see more details about this remote repository. So origin is referencing this repository over here, github.com/codewithmosh/mars.git. So this is the URL that Git is going to use when we talk to this remote repository.